this episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles, we arrive in South Africa for the first stop of the UCI Downhill season. Pietermaritzburg is one of the hardest tracks on the mountain bike circuit. Aaron Gwin is no stranger to hard work. However, the overall winner of 2011 approaches the race with ease. We recap last season and get the results from this year's first race in this episode of Mountain Bike Chronicles. In fast-paced downhill racing, 24-year-old Aaron Gwin relies on his intuition.
You don't feel a whole lot when you're racing. It's weird, race runs, you don't remember a lot of them, at least I don't. Sometimes you kind of just go into autopilot and you're just kind of going through the motions and trying to get down the hill. It's crazy, I think when you cross the finish line is when it kind of sinks in, you know, you kind of realize how fast you're going or what kind of a run you have, and you can think about it, but when you're riding, you're just kind of in the moment, just trying to do what you do.
Aaron won the UCI Downhill World Cup last year as a newcomer. His affinity with the sport originates from his childhood.
I'm pretty new to the downhill game. I think this is my 4th full season, but I've been racing bicycles since I was 4 and raced motocross. So, you know, it is my career, but I try to keep it a fun hobby. You know, I know that it's, you know, it's going to be short, and we are just racing bikes. And
this year, Aaron wants to continue his success. The 24-year-old Californian has much anticipation for the start of his season.
I think before the start on some tracks, you know, that you know are going to be really tough and you're going to have to hang it out. You know, you get that nerves and you kind of got to hype yourself up a little before the run to push the pace.
South Africa is the first stop on the map to gather the downhill elite. Pietermaritzburg, which is 2 hours from Durban, hosts the first of 7 downhill races this year. Riders and technicians prepare to succeed on this special track.
Well, this track seems to be split up between, you know, fast, flowing, straightforward sections between trees, and then you'll get to a road crossing or a steep drop, and it's really the flat, plain sections between the technical sections where you're going to win the race. This is a tough section, no doubt, you know. There's a few different lines there you could go. To find those lines is going to be difficult in practice. You're going to have to really kind of test which one's faster, which one you come out with most speed, which one you can brake the least into. This is probably the most fun section of the track. You come out of this so fast, and you know, this whole next section's about staying off the brakes, hitting the jumps and going as big as you can. This bit's super hard here because you're absolutely exhausted from the pedaling. You know, you're out of breath, you're starting to fall down onto your bars, you know, you just want to park up and call it a day.
After the course inspection, the riders head off to the training. The last adjustments are made to be ready for the qualification.
It was a crazy year last year to have that success. I knew that I was going to be, you know, challenging for wins, but I didn't know that maybe I would be, I guess, that dominant at some races. I kind of made that step up to where I've dreamed about being since I was a kid.
In 2011, Aaron's streak of success started in Pietermaritzburg. His toughest competitors are Greg Minnaar from South Africa and G. Atherton from Great Britain. They can only watch as Aaron claims his first victory in 2011. In Fort William, it's Greg Minnaar who strikes back, winning in front of young gun Danny Hart. Aaron only reaches 5th place, which puts Greg in the lead overall. In Leogang, Aaron secures a confident win and climbs to the top of the ratings. At the race in Mount St. Anne, it is Aaron again who wins, while Greg Minnaar crashes and G. Atherton has technical issues. The next race in Windham goes into the history books as Aaron is the first U.S. rider to win on American soil. His overall lead extends. At La Bresse, Greg Minnaar strikes back with a victory, followed by G. Atherton in 2nd position. Aaron finishes 3rd, which brings him the overall UCI Downhill title. Aaron's 5th win takes place in Val di Sole.
It was definitely special, a good year. You know, I'm satisfied. I know no matter what kind of happens in the future that it's cool to look back and know that you had a year like that. You know, there were some young kids putting in some really awesome rides last year, and they're just going to keep getting stronger. So it's, I think it's awesome, man, for racing to have that many people that can, you know, battle for podiums and battle for wins. So I think it's good for the sport, and it makes it fun. You know, you got to definitely work hard and be on it.
It's qualification at the track in Pietermaritzburg, and the first attempt and the first appearance to battle for points to count a winner after 7 races. The favorites are in the top ranks. G. Atherton did well on the inspection. He's pushing the limits. Smith surprises with a clean run, overtaking G. The big matchup on this weekend is between Aaron Gwin and Greg Minar. Aaron is fast on the technical part. Somehow he loses in the flat sections where physical strength is the key. In the end, it's local hero Greg Minar who wins the qualifying.
I won the qualifying, but by such a little bit, it's not really much of a win, but it's good for points. I had a pretty decent run, but I know the other guys have got a lot left in the tank, and I'm just going to have to do everything I can. I know I slow up top. I've worked on that yesterday. You know, I know it's not going to be easy. I know Aaron's going to be really quick, and I'm sure 1 or 2 other riders are going to come through with a good result.
The humble Californian builds himself a comfort zone in which to succeed over the long season.
Between all the racing and practice on the weekend, we usually just hang out with my team. I'm really lucky to have, you know, teammates that I would consider some of my best friends. So it makes being at the races a lot of fun, you know. So just kind of stuff to just stay chill and pass the time and just try to enjoy the experience. You know, I think you can get so wrapped up in race run that it's not fun on a weekend, you know, that everything's building up to that. So I try to think about anything but the race until Sunday.
For the race on Sunday, every little detail counts. The sport itself has made a huge step.
The level these days is, you know, it's high. You got to be fit. You got to work hard. So I think every sport has kind of gone through a transition in the last 5 or 10 years where it's, you know, it's becoming, you know, serious. You treat it as a job, and I think that adds a little bit of pressure. But at the end of the day, you know, you're still just doing something that you like to do. So I just try to keep that in perspective.
Aaron's relaxed approach to racing should help achieve a good result in the first race. The race gathers a huge crowd at the track of Pietermaritzburg. Michael Hanna is fast, and his sister sees him taking the lead. G. Atherton loses in the first section, and in the end is not able to overtake Hanna. The highly anticipated rivalry is up next. Aaron is behind after the technical part, but fights back in the flat section. In the end, he manages to beat Hanna's time. There's only one rider left to beat Aaron. Greg Minar wants to win on home soil. As in qualification, he is behind after the technical part. Fired up by his home crowd, he puts everything into the pedal section and wins the race in Pietermaritzburg.
You know, I knew up top I was behind. I made 2 stupid mistakes at the beginning, so I had to make up as much as I could down bottom. And, you know, as much pain as it was down that pit, and I just had to put my head down and go.
After the first event in South Africa, Greg Minnaar climbs to the top of the UCI ranking, followed by Aaron Gwin and Michael Hanna. On the next episode of Mountainbike Chronicles, we are in Vienna for the first event of the FMB World Tour. It's not about counting the seconds there. The freeride mountain bike pros are going to be battling for points with their incredible tricks. Yannick Granieri, one of the best riders, grew up on a bike. Nowadays, it has become his profession to compete around the world. All this and more on the next episode of Mountainbike Chronicles.